You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
It's fine. We'll be fine. We'll start now.
Okay, so then no is the answer to the question.
I brought stuff last week.
It's not.
It's your turn.
We go with that.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's my turn. If I bring stuff to this episode, it's going to be ice cream.
Oh.
We had an interesting conversation in the hot tub this morning. By the way, we're totally hot tub people now. Daily hot tub users.
Damn it.
Surely there's a club.
I think there is a club.
I'm sure that there's a Facebook group.
I think it involves pineapples.
Is that code for something?
That's definitely code for something. I think.
What's a pineapple?
It's that's not where I'm being silly because you're like that. We're hot tub people. Is that code for something? So I pulled a code, which is a swingers code.
Pineapple.
Which is pineapple is.
Safe words?
Actually, it's like symbolism. If you have, I have to don't quote me on this, okay? I only did a little bit of research because it was a funny conversation.
Okay.
That came up and caused some moments of,
Interesting.
Totally didn't see that.
So what's the pineapple represent?
It's pineapple is like the symbol for swingers, and like the pineapple is like if you have it up or an upside down pineapple, then it's like you're having a swinger party right now. And I don't know enough about it. I just learned, and it was kind of an embarrassing moment, really.
I have never heard of the pineapple.
Yeah, I hadn't either. So I walked right into that shit. And was
right
like,
into the pineapple.
It was like, it was kind of how I figured out, man, I think I'm a smart person. But then there are things that happen in the world that I do not, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So the first time I learned what Netflix and chill was also one of these moments where I suggested it for an idea for Stevie to go do. And she was like, Mom, I don't think you know what that means. I was like, because I was being silly. I'm like,
kids.
Go Netflix and chill.
Kids,
and she
just
was
relax and watch some Netflix.
She was like, I don't think you know what it means. And I was like, well, apparently I don't. What does it mean? I was thinking it was no pressure.
Yeah, right.
No pressure. There's no expectations. All we're doing is hanging out and watching TV. No pressure. That's what I thought. And then when she told me, I'm like, okay, don't do that. Don't Netflix and chill. Don't do that.
If anybody has a pineapple on their front porch, just run.
Or at least have awareness of what you're choosing to walk into. Let it be a decision, not a surprise.
I never heard the pineapple.
Yeah. So there's pineapple, and apparently there's something with flamingos too, but I don't know that either. I didn't feel the need to continue searching. No judgment. I just didn't need this information.
You just didn't go down that rabbit hole anymore.
So when you said, is there a club for hot tub people? Immediately I was like, pineapples. There's totally a club for
You know what's funny? If we started
people.
a hot tub club or a hot tub forum.
It would not be pineapple people.
No, it would be bird watching. We like to sit in the hot tub in the morning and watch the birds and hear the birds and listen to the birds and the bird fights and the hummingbirds and the different types of birds. Suddenly we have become the old couple or not the old couple, but
Just call me old.
We're middle-aged. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with being middle-aged. Either way, we're transitioning into that phase of our life.
We are.
Where we like to sit in the hot tub and watch birds.
I've always liked birds, though.
Yeah.
So that's not an age thing. Just because now all of a sudden you're there and you're like, turns out we're old. No, I've always liked birds, so it's not an age thing. So take your ageism and shove it, mister. I resent your implication of middle age.
If you would like to join our hot tub bird watching club,
we have fun conversations.
Then start the Facebook group and invite us.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about birds.
What have you learned?
The starling, starling, right?
Yes.
That they can mimic other birds.
Yeah, that was a cool thing. I didn't know that.
Right? That's about it.
Yeah.
That's the cool new fact that I've learned over the past several weeks of watching starlings make hawk noises.
Yeah. I think we learned a lot with, I started doing a little more research when we had the nest.
That's right.
We still have the nest, but the babies have flown the coop. They've flown the nest and they have not returned. We're empty. We're bird empty nesters.
This podcast just got super exciting, folks. We went from swinger talk to bird watching to empty nesters.
We are a full spectrum podcast. We cover it all.
We fell asleep early last night trying to watch TV. Passed out about 8 o'clock.
Was it 8?
It was 8:30ish.
Oh my God, we needed sleep.
Yeah, we did.
It's okay. I'm
was a long
not,
day.
I don't feel bad about that. I'm like, yes. I woke up this morning, did some like body movements. It just felt good. And so that sleep helped me. I'm grateful for that sleep. I think we should try and watch that show every night so I can go to bed early.
If you're interested, the new season of Westworld is riveting. Just riveting. Yeah. It's really sparked our attention span. Yeah. I'm sure it's a good episode.
It might be.
We were just really tired.
We were so tired.
Yeah.
I got like far enough to know. I'm like, wait a minute, that guy died in the last one.
Did he though?
He did. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He's a host. That's what they're called, right?
A robot.
Yeah. And that's all I got.
That's all I got. I still don't understand.
I think he
Westworld.
bought the Hoover Dam.
We're 4 seasons in. I forgot about that Hoover Dam part.
That was the very beginning. That's
Right.
as far as I got.
4 seasons in, I still don't understand what's going on.
I don't either.
I
But I
just know.
slept through last season too.
I think we talked about, I'm sure we've talked about Westworld before.
I think we have. We liked the first season.
So the first season made sense to some extent, right?
Yeah. I
If
remember
you
the
could
first
go-
season.
If you could go to your own Westworld,
Yes.
what would it be?
I don't know.
Like take your pick, right?
Take my pick.
And pick it off of a movie. So just pick a
a
movie.
movie.
So like obviously in Westworld it was the Wild West, right? So it was a Western themed amusement park with live action
I wouldn't choose the Wild West.
robots.
What would I choose?
Yeah, what would you choose?
This isn't okay. I'm like, excuse me. This just got serious. I'm not gonna throw some whimsical thing out there that is like I'm gonna take my time and make the
Yeah,
right
baby.
choice.
Spend some time thinking about this
Right?
fictional
I'm
thing
not
that's
gonna
not
be
going
like
to
I'm just gonna
happen.
like throw a thing out there. No, because what if it is happening? What if right now is where the moment of creation is?
What if this is the
This is
Westworld?
it, and they're like, we heard you. And so what I speak now is I will be speaking into existence.
Okay, so where are you going? What's your amusement?
You
park
said based
dream
off of a movie, so I've only got 2 movies in my head right now.
Well, think about not necessarily the movie,
The movie.
but like, is it going to be a Western? Is it going to be
No.
a fantasy? Is it going
It
to
might
be
be a fantasy.
Do you know what I mean? Are you going to go to Legend with Tom Cruise and
Oh, I was thinking I Am Legend with Will
Unicorns.
Smith, and I'm like, fuck no, not doing that.
what's the type of world going to be?
I don't know. I'm going between like magical and powerful and then like this beautiful and oasis Avatar. Oh my God, Avatar
Yeah.
would be so cool.
Right?
Can you imagine if you could go into Westworld and go like
Run around in Avatar land.
Okay, that would be pretty cool.
What's the name of that planet?
Avatar world.
I don't think so.
Dystopia.
Nairobi.
That's actually not it. That's an opposite of what I'm talking about. That's a complete opposite. That's a whole other direction.
Avatar
That's
would be
where
a
we're
good place to
going.
go.
It would be, wouldn't it?
It would be a cool place to go.
It would be.
Is that it?
Is
That's your
that it?
pick?
No.
I mean, you get to go wherever you want, right?
I would. I'm thinking Avatar would be pretty cool. I would. There's a lot of. I don't know. I want to fly. I want to go fly in them. So something I can fly. So Avatar obviously is
So
cool.
it's got to have some dragons.
Or maybe I would be like Splash, so I could be a mermaid and be in the water
Ooh,
and go swimming with the.
you could be a mermaid.
Yeah, I would do things like that. I would do things to experience the feeling of flying and breathing underwater and just healing and magic and beauty. I would not be like, I want to go rob a bank and shoot things. That
How
would
many
not
people
be
do you think would do that part of it?
How?
Like I was thinking about this last night when we were watching that show,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, I remember when
You didn't answer the question though. I mean, you didn't tell what world would you go into.
I think Avatar would be a cool place
It'd
to
be
go.
cool?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would totally love to run around the jungle.
So we could go be Avatarians together. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
That would be fun. Okay.
Um,
How many people do you think would do the?
like if it's a game of Grand Theft Auto, how many of us are out there, raping, pillaging, and plundering in these Westworld lands of imagination?
I would like to think not a lot, but
I don't think it would be that many, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how many people are buying the Avatar video game based off of how many people are buying all the war and the crime video games? I think that's a really good implication.
Well, think of it this way, because I really started to think about this. And we all have terrible thoughts. Our brains and our imaginations and our minds oftentimes can create just the most terrible thoughts.
That is true.
Right? And everybody has that. I don't think that's unique to an individual, or we all can imagine the worst things. And sometimes
It doesn't mean like you're, what's the word? Not pondering. You're not just like really hyper focused on it and rolling it over and playing it out sometimes.
Yeah.
But we're even talking about just like the Flash, where something goes shoom, and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Yeah. So we all have those invasive thoughts sometimes that are
Yes.
really, really just terrible thoughts, right? And terrible is a judgment. It's just a thought.
It is a judgment. I judge it.
I have them. I have them quite regularly. And I thought about, like, would I want to go to some, you know, in live action video game land where I could just do whatever I want, free from any. I'm trying to think now. I think there's definitely a time period in my life what I would have wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a time period in my life where I would have wanted to play out some experiences or some live action things that, do you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's okay. I mean, there's like things that are intense that like, wow, that might be, you know, a lot, but to play out some live action, like wildness.
Yeah.
Or we're going to the dark things though.
I don't know. I don't know where we're going right now. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Because I think I would have more fun.
It depends on how many times you get to go.
Right. Like if you only get to go once, I'm not going to waste time with like.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to, I want to go fly dragons or ride horses, or do you know what I mean? I want to go do fun stuff. I'm not sitting there. And maybe that's the thing, right? Like if we really pressed people to the idea, what would you really want to do if you only had one opportunity? I don't think it would be all the terrible things of like robbing banks and killing people, and you know what I mean? I think hardly. It would be a very, very, very small number of people that would actually choose that. Correct. I think it would be the actual serial killers that are alive today that would be like, let's do that one. Other than that, like I think it would be serial killers don't have to go to a pretend game land to do that. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to be inclusive, Craig. So.
What if this was what if this is that place?
What if this is what we chose?
Yeah.
I would choose you.
There is some concept about that, right? Like some idea
behind simulation of all that. Yeah,
that this is the place where we got to interact and engage, and we chose to come here and embody these avatars and these bodies and these things, right?
You think it's like I've got the like, as spiritual beings, as souls, we chose to come here. I've heard, and this is a simulation, and the simulation isn't a choosing, it was a placement. So I don't think I've like had a mix of a chosen simulation.
When you say a simulation is a placement,
yeah, I guess it felt like this is
trapped inside of some sort of simulation,
kind of. But it's a choice simulation, not a placement simulation. I chose. Well,
the Matrix would be cool.
The Matrix, If I
got to go to Westworld Matrix Land and run around with Neo, that would be cool.
I don't think he was having a lot of good days.
That would be fun though. Where he'd be like, "Come on, Craig." And then I could do like all the cool Neo like, shit that he does, right?
Would you be interested in doing the cool things with Neo, or would you? I'm gonna stop right there.
What were you gonna say?
I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop myself right there. I'm just gonna stop it. We're gonna move on. There are thoughts that I do not need to finish.
Do you think we're trapped in some sort of simulation?
Do I? I don't know. Do I feel? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if this is a simulation. I don't know if this is sometimes
Sometimes it feels like it.
sometimes I think this is a big simulation. Yeah. But who knows? Who knows, right?
Who's
knows?
the trapper?
Whether it's a trap or not, I don't know. Like, that's a thing. You know, I have like matrix implantation of a trap and battery packs. But maybe not. Maybe it is a choice. Maybe it's like, who knows? I don't know. Who knows? Part of me thinks I know that this okay, I know that this is not it. I know that it is not that it is just this planet, and then there's like some dude on a throne, like I said before. I'll be really surprised if that's the case. And I do think there's like an interwoven way that we get to go from dimensions and connections, whether we are in this one or not. I think we venture in and out, and this is not it. But whether or not this is like a simulation as much as this is a connected dimension. I don't know, but I'm okay with not knowing because I'm not supposed to know right now.
I think in my mind, as we pick apart the idea of, is this a simulation, or the idea of a simulation, somehow there's a difference between our reality and what we're here now experiencing. And when we try to imagine a simulation, the simulation would be like it would be fake. It wouldn't be real. Like a simulation is it's an imaginary place, right? It's a simulation of reality. It's not actually reality. And what if...
That coffee's cold, by the way. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. Won't hold it against you.
Thank you.
What if this is that simulation, but it is real at the same time? Like, think about it. Like, the reality of this experience that we're having is the only reality that we know, which is why it seems real. It seems like this is the reality of life. This is the thing, right? But this could just be a really, really good... And simulation isn't even the right word because it has that connotation that
illusion.
It is, right? That it is some sort of imaginary thing that's not
I
real.
think simulation, it's really hard for me to separate the computer technology aspects of it out. You know what I mean? And so in my mind, like, simulation equals computer equals there's a programmer. So that's why it's hard for me to like make that leap. But some sort of like creation.
What if that's all that it is? It's different verbiage.
I don't know. What do you want me to say, Craig? Like, everything I come up with is what do you think?
Nothing is wrong. These conversations are the way that I flesh out these ideas, right?
With me as your sounding board, good luck on how that's gonna go. Because I am here to help you flesh out your ideas.
That idea that a simulation indicates that there's somebody programming that simulation.
I don't know if that's true. I'm saying that's the barriers that I come up against with my imagination in this realm of, like, it's hard to break out of that. I keep seeing, does that make sense? Like, these are my blocks. These are my barriers. These are the boundaries where I have a hard time really like jumping out into bigger possibilities, into more expansion on the what ifs, because I get sometimes stuck in cause and effect as opposed to complete like fantasy.
But that idea that you just got done articulating,
yes,
of if this is a simulation, then there is somebody that created it.
That's not a definitive.
That created it.
Yes.
That's the same. It's just different verbiage to explain God and creation.
Okay. I guess. Well, then, to expand on that,
because God would be the programmer.
I'm not like
of
thinking
this simulation.
One programmer above all, because I think that would also include a programmer. It's like there's, I don't know, it's like, take a bunch of string and stretch it out.
Are we
okay?
talking string theory now, baby?
Oh my God. Okay, not string. Take taffy. Take a bunch of taffy.
Taffy theory,
We're
folks.
making taffy, okay? And then stretch it out. And so it's each on its individual thing.
Yes.
And then twist it.
Okay.
And pull and twist. So it's like that's what makes sense to me, is just this intertwined mixing, blending thing where each string is still its own string, but everything's interwoven, and thinking that it's the only string.
Okay, are you ready?
Or taffy or whatever, because no, I'm not getting into string theory.
So this is my brain.
Okay.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, because you're like, it's a multitude, like it's a blending of all things. It's not some singular thing and or person or energy that creates this, right? But what if this is your simulation?
Yeah.
So this is yours.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I made some bad choices.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, world.
But yours simulation is completely designed and created by you.
Yeah.
So like maybe you did it all at the beginning and then you're just living it out. Maybe you are creating it as you go.
Yeah.
Maybe but it's yours.
It's mine.
Okay. And mine is mine.
Uh-huh.
So.
So you're not real.
So I'm not real in yours, but I'm real in mine.
No wonder I feel so alone. I would choose, I don't know. I don't like the people in your space not being real doesn't feel good to me.
But see, that's the difference. That's what I was talking about earlier, where we don't think something is real because it's in a simulation.
Yeah.
But the reality is,
I'm almost going to cry. This is making me emotional. I'm like, the people that I love are real. And it's like making me legit emotional.
But I haven't said that they're not real.
I'm like about to lose it. I might.
That idea in our head,
I'm freaking crying.
that if something is in a simulation, that it's not real.
Funny.
Like you said earlier, I'm going to create a reality now by speaking it.
Yeah.
And then it magically appears somewhere in the universe.
I'm going to scoosh back up to my pretend table. Hold on.
You're real.
I don't want to be real if the people that I
don't
love
want to be a
real
real girl.
That like really made me sad. I have mascara all over my. Put on makeup. I put on real makeup. So I have real makeup going all over my face. I don't like this theory.
Like what makes something real? It's our perception of it.
I'm like, I don't want to participate in the fake. I want to go to where it's real. So I'm going to end game so I can go be with the people I love. This is too emotional. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, love. Everything's okay.
This is funny. I'm not due. Like my period isn't coming. I don't know what's happening here.
But think about that, right? What makes something real? It's our belief in it. Like if I believe in whatever, it doesn't matter. Take your pick. What do you believe in? It's different from what I believe in, but is it any less real to you?
There are so many times, like this is why, because this is like a rabbit hole of my crazy brain, right? Because you're getting to know me a little bit, or maybe not. Maybe you're not real. For me, right? You're in your own simulation. I don't even know you. The Craig in my world, those pretty cool, just so you know. So if you ever meet him, you're gonna be lucky. But like there's times that I'm like talking to somebody and I see like it's weird. This is weird. This is like Steph's weird. Right? There's times that I think, like, are they really there? Or like, would they not be there? Is this another place? Is this a memory? Like so many times I think, is this a memory? And it's funny because as soon as I think, is this a memory? It's already a memory. It's already passed. That moment is already, when you're looking at things linearly. But there's times I feel like that, like you can almost see the dissolvation. There's times that I feel like I dissolve and not really there. So that's why it's like hitting me so hard. It was because my brain actually can go there at times. And I think like none of this is real or like weird. I'm not high. Like there's no drugs in this body. This is just the way my weird brain works.
I don't think your brain's weird.
And so as soon as you say that, I'm like, fuck, it's real. So my heart starts breaking because it's easy for me to go there because I just go there. And so this is
But what if the point of this experience was all of this emotion, was all of this love, was all of this connection? Like, again, imagine,
this is like
we talked about this on a way earlier episode where the cell divides because it's lonely, right?
Yeah, to see itself.
And so
a cool thought.
what if we're a singular source of energy out there in the universe? And in order to not be alone,
freaking boob.
we just create all of these experiences, 8 billion realities.
8 billion
Just to have emotional connection, positive or negative, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just the experience, right?
Why don't our 8 billion? I can't put I don't know how to do things. I'm like malfunctioning over here, okay?
Your simulation's glitching.
So what if this is, if this is you, if this is yours, okay, so I can look at it from this is mine, but that means you got to look at it like this is yours.
Yeah.
So you chose this mess. Like you created this mess.
I did. I created
the one that you're going to talk about, simulations. I'm like, ooh, start crying.
Yeah. I did.
And so, well, oh, there you go.
Right?
Yeah.
You are what I manifested and created as my wife. And I am the opposite for you.
Yeah. Well, I like this. There's that theory of like start like living as what is it? Come on, Steph. It's not this hard. Like being the star of your show, because it's like you are the star, right?
Yeah.
You are the show, the movie, and then you have you like scoosh back to like who's watching and all of the stuff that you've talked about and we're looking at, but to like actually step into that role,
right?
And be like, I am the star of my movie.
Yeah, this is the Steph show,
right?
And you
and
are...
then all I hear is like narcissist. And I don't want to be a narcissist.
But you don't have to be a narcissist in your show.
But like if you are saying that this is like my show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, if I'm making it all about me,
yeah, then
that is like, so it's just like that battle, that high road, low road. I can't make it all about me because that means I'm an uncaring, cruel person. But never about me doesn't really work either. So how do you make it all about you? Like stepping into yourself in a healthy way, making it all about me. Well, I like you in my show. I choose you consciously as a supporting character.
Think of this idea though, how like your perception.
Why are you just making me flesh all this out? I've already boobing and you're still asking me questions.
Well, this is my
I'm stuttering.
Brain coming out. These are my thoughts.
Don't make me cry again.
I didn't make you cry last time.
Well, Simulation Craig did. Simulation Craig said the thing that poked my heartstrings.
But think of this, right? Your perception of me is different than the perception that I have of myself.
Yeah.
So that would make sense that you have created me in your simulation.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
Because your perception of me is not the same that I have of myself. Just as the way that I see you is not the way that you see yourself.
So who's right?
Well, it's your simulation. So it's yours. You're the right. Like you're right in yours because that's what you've created as your partner, right? You see me the way that you want to see me. You created me the way that you wanted to create me. I have shown up in your life, 11 years ago in Walk character Craig, because this was the next part and so on and so forth. You created me and I showed up in your simulation.
I feel like this is where I should be wiggling my eyebrows at you. Like,
right. And then
you definitely came in with some theme music.
I created you.
Did I have theme music?
Oh, yeah.
Was I like... Okay.
Because your perception of me isn't how I see myself.
Yeah.
So then you have to wonder, what does that do to the simulation?
What does that do to the simulation?
Like if I am...
Is this AI?
Like if I'm the only real thing in my simulation, if I'm the only real thing and everything else is a perception of whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I see you and I perceive you and I create you and I manifest you and I mold, like basically I am the creator and the designer and yes, of everything of you.
Okay.
Right. So then I would design
So
you
you're
and
the
create
program. Oh, this is like, what if that is like we go in and create our own thing? This is the world that I want to live in.
you, right?
I mean, I want to make some changes. I'm not really happy with the way I designed this government and the choices. Like I need to come back out of the simulation for a little bit, make some changes, and then I can come back in.
So then the question becomes, is that the way that, how do we change our simulation?
How do we?
I believe it's changed through our perception.
Perception is what you perceive, you receive. The perception is your reality. That is such a thing. Did you just like, dude, mind blown.
So
that is a thing. That is like.
So if you want to change your simulation, then you just have to change
mindset.
your perception. Because once again, right, you don't perceive me the way that I perceive myself. So if I want to change the me in this simulation, I have to change my perception of me.
What about the times when you really surprised me and I did not see something coming? And I'm like,
maybe that's a glitch.
You're
Maybe that's
so
a
you're
glitch
glitchy
in your simulation.
You're glitchy in my
Hey,
simulation.
you fucking designed it. I'm not. I don't know what you're talking to me about.
Okay. I'm like feeling like, whew, I'm gonna have to like ponder this.
I'm not the one glitching out over here.
Yeah.
You're the one that's having.
I'm totally glitching out over here,
Right?
like for real. You made me leak, my ear itch, all kinds of things. I'm like, I'm totally glitching out over here.
And then it's like, how did we get to this simulation?
Yeah.
Where did we come from before the simulation? What was before the creation of this simulation or this experience? And then we go back to the one source that we all stem from. And maybe that's all this is. In theory, right? In my theory.
Yeah.
In my creation, in my belief. I've thought so much about this lately because we're doing so much introspective work and going through this yoga teacher training and learning more about like the true nature of yoga and what it means, and really learning a lot of that Eastern philosophy in regards to all sorts of different aspects of life and things, and like the 8 limbs of yoga, and what's the other thing that
I'm sorry, I've got Shiva and Shakti in my head right now.
yeah, there's that. But what's the thing that,
the
Yoga
Naders,
Sutras?
Yeah, because you have
the Yoga Sutras.
yes, but I'm trying to like remember the. Never mind.
We're doing great. We're really good students.
There's like, fuck. My simulation has not thriving on cold coffee.
So the idea is, in order to achieve
and the niyamas.
in order to achieve enlightenment or to move towards enlightenment, we have to accept like this is I don't even know if I'm going to be able to articulate this thought. Because there's this desire to know what is. But we are the is that we are desiring to know about.
Yeah.
So I desire to know what is, when in reality or in simulation, whatever, in virtual reality, I am the is.
Mm-hmm.
So like what is, or what am I, or what is the beginning, or what is all of this, I am that. Right? And so I continually, perpetually, it's like a paradox of reiterating that over and reaching towards that truth, but also being present here. It's like this dynamic of wanting to know, but also non-attachment, and wanting to seek out, but then also be present with where I'm at. And it's like that cycle, that thing of moving towards something, but then also being present, reaching, but not pulling, right? Like an equal balance of showing up and non-attachment. I was thinking about that, like the energy of that dynamic, the energy of that, like the soul's desire to know the truth. And as we seek and move towards that truth, we have to learn how to not seek and move towards that truth. So it's like a paradox of believe but don't believe. Reach out but don't reach out. And because Because like in meditation, you let go, right? So you let go in order to get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's this desire to continually let go
Uh-huh.
and to seek. And it's like that thing, that energy of like, okay, I accept the fact that I have to let go of this stuff, non-attachment, non-dual, all these kind of different things, right? And I can sit in that space. But if I just sit in that space indefinitely, there's still a desire for something.
Yeah.
There's still a desire for the knowledge or the desire to reach out to something. And it's like that game of the desire and the reaching and the everything that I've outlined 46 times. I don't think I need to articulate it further. That thing, I think, might be the purpose of everything, because that creates energy. There's an energy inside of us that happens.
Yeah.
To know, like we all want to know, where do we come from? Right? And then on the journey to get to that, what are we told? Be present where you're at. It's like, okay, I'm present where I'm at. But now, where did I come from? Where are you at now? Okay, I see that. I see the importance of that, being here now. But yet, where did I come from? Where do we all come from? Where do we go? Just be here now. Okay, I can.
Yeah, where do we go?
That whole desire, that whole thing that stirs inside of us, that makes us want to see what's on the other side of the hill. I think that is like the driving force of energy throughout the universe.
Just want to see it. That's also how we grow. If we never wanted to see what was on the other side of the hill, we would never.
That's how we grow.
We would never do anything.
So maybe that's how the universe expands.
So. Right? Otherwise we'd all be
right.
But then to never be satisfied where you are, and to continue, and you always needing to look what's over the hill. Like at what point?
I haven't got it figured out yet.
I don't have it figured out yet either.
My simulation's broke.
Hey, you created it.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
How's that sitting with you? The idea that maybe I'm only real in your simulation.
Well, I cried at first. You saw that. I like I had a moment because, you kids, and I just had a moment. And then what I started thinking is I started thinking of all the challenges and the challenging characters that apparently I created, right? And then so it was like, what? Like that was a very that would be like a very like chosen design, a very thought out, a very like intentional design to learn.
Right.
So if this is a creation, and this is like, I created this was my choice, then I had to design it so I would achieve what I was trying to achieve. Like what I was here to learn, what was going to, like, whatever like skill set was going to happen. Like if this is where they plugged in and you come out and you're like, I know, what did Neo say? I know, what martial art did he go learn?
Kung Fu.
Was it Kung Fu? Okay. He's like,
he learned them all.
He's like, well, at that moment when he clicks in and goes and he comes out, he's like, I know Kung Fu.
Yeah.
And then Morpheus like, show me.
Yeah.
But like that, like, what did I plug in? What am I here to learn right now? I plugged in something. So I would learn this skill because it's going to be maybe, right, applicable somewhere else. Maybe that's the next simulation. Who knows?
What if it's not the big linear aspect of I designed this entire life to learn one thing?
It might not be.
What if it's each and every moment?
It very well could be.
Do you know what I mean?
It very well could be. You asked me, like, how was that sitting with me?
Yeah.
So that's how it was sitting. It was like suddenly it was like.
Did you create the children for your simulation, or did they create you for theirs?
Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. Who knows?
Right.
I don't feel like I have to know those answers.
That means that we created our parents.
As I'm talking about what was I here to learn? What design did I create here to learn? And regardless of it, none of this is true. Like, it doesn't matter to me if this is a simulation or not. It doesn't matter to me if this is real or not. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I have moments of like when I sit in it and I will cry, but I don't at this moment, I don't care. You know, I just don't care. I don't have to know that.
Are you content regardless?
I definitely am moments. This is a moment where I feel like I don't care because it doesn't matter because I'm here now. And right? Very enlightened of me. And in 2 minutes, I'm going to drop something and be like, why is life hard? You know, so this is temporary.
Why is life hard?
So it comes and goes. It comes and goes. Contentment, presence, calmness, chaos. At the end of all of it is just like we experience it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am less concerned with figuring out what is real and more concerned with finding peace no matter what, in a sense. And not attached to like, I must be peaceful, just like the non-attachment, but not.
This is one of the things. Go ahead.
It's like the non-attachment, but the not disassociated. Just
Right.
being like present and loving and excited and aware and celebrating and like, this is amazing, and finding like the joy in things, and then seeing things like flow, not hanging on to things, but also not being oblivious. So that balance. And I get moments. I don't get more than moments, but there are moments where it makes me think it's possible. And then, like I said, the next moment something goes and I spiral.
I have been, because like I said earlier, we're learning so much of this deep philosophical thoughts about life and why we're here and all these kind of different energies and things like that. And I'm butting up against this confusion around karma.
Okay.
And some sort of karma playing out, or you keep reincarnating in order to play out your karma, or the karmic debt, or the karma exchange, or just the concept around karma. And I thought about how, at least from my perception of where I'm at with currently trying to process it, how limiting it is and how linear it is. Where it's like, I have some sort of karmic debt that I have to process, heal, understand, rise above before I can reach enlightenment. Well, that sounds pretty linear to me. And I'm going to keep reincarnating, like the idea that it's not a circle. Like if I have, we'll use cards for this analogy. I've got 5 cards and each one represents some sort of karmic debt. And maybe the first 5 lifetimes I can get rid of the first, and then the second, and then the third.
Okay.
Right. But I have to keep coming back in this circular, cyclical nature of reincarnating into this experience in different bodies, different lives, blah, 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 to learn the same lessons over and over again until I can heal that karmic debt and or karmic wound. And then once I finally get to that point where I can heal all of that karma, then I've learned and now I can move on.
Okay.
That seems pretty linear to me.
That does seem pretty linear. I have a thought.
You need cards for
I
it?
do. I'm going to use your same 5 cards, okay? So, although it's going to be a little more challenging, what if it's more like, should have really picked a different number of cards.
You want 6? We got 52 we can choose from. 7?
Okay, stop giving me cards, okay? Let's just look at it like, okay, pretend that's a circle, okay?
These are great visuals for an audio
Well,
podcast.
you're the one that brought out the cards. So Craig laid his cards in a straight line. And
But I put my cards on the table.
Yeah, you did. And then I'm rearranging them
in a circular pattern.
So karmic debt is a perception way of thinking.
Correct.
So karma and dharma is like whether you believe it or not. Like we're looking at the duality. You say yourself, the universe itself is a paradox.
Yeah.
So when you take the linear thought out of it and you turn it into more of a cyclical pattern, And when you're learning this, so you can go here, so you're changing them out. You're learning it all at the same time. It's not the first 5 lifetimes. It's you're in the lifetimes at the beginning, which is at the end, which is there is no beginning or end, and it's a cyclical, and everything is happening at once. And the beginning journey of the lesson is happening at the same time as the enlightenment, because it is just a whole ball of energy that doesn't change.
Okay.
Or not change, but doesn't start or end. So while the whole purpose is the experience, it's not a ladder. It made sense in my head.
It makes sense as you articulate it. I'm just sitting with it. I like it. I like that idea. Now I'm wondering.
And maybe it is linear. Who knows?
But see, this idea too of like, it's so incredibly challenging for our brain to not think linearly.
I don't believe time is linear, but I cannot unchain the living as time is linear.
So then
and
it has
still
to be
the
for a
beliefs,
reason.
right?
Right.
Maybe
that has to be the construct that our brain has been evolutionarily, designed in order to process that way. Maybe it's biological and purely
Maybe
biological. So then we're synced up with the rise and fall of the sun.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. And maybe
Well.
everything is linear. Maybe this is it. Maybe if all the, we're just complete wackadoos and like, this is it. It's the rise and fall. It's the, who knows? Everything is possible and nothing is impossible.
Could be. So with your simulation.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is shift your perception.
Uh-huh.
What are you working on shifting right now so that your simulation changes up?
My perception in general. I'm trying to find gratitude in so many things, but I'm going to have a hard time answering that question because I had something come to me. I think it was Wednesday.
Okay.
Or was it Saturday? It might have been Saturday. Saturday was a big day for me. It was a big day. I like so much like anyways, around this time, within the last week, this thing came to me. And whether it's true or not, who knows? It doesn't really matter. I think it was Friday. I don't know why I'm so focused on that. It's because I think this is kind of silly and it seems really small and really big at the same time. So you know how you have like when you think about the magnetic fields of the earth and how it like that spiral and it comes up and it goes out and down and up and it's just this continuing, there's no start, there's no end. It just like is this ever flowing like in and out reflection. It's a reflection. I had this thought thinking about the light of the sun. Okay. And how it's this super bright light where we can see everything and it's this circle and it's this point that's coming in, and then the symbolism of all of that. So we are taking the sun and we see this, and the symbolism was where it's like coming in and then it enters through our eyes. And then what if like on the flip side of that is how it's entering our eyes so we can see everything, is that is the like origination of the sun on the paradox on the flip side. So what we're actually looking up at and seeing as the sun is the entry point of the sun that's coming in the eyes of. It's hard to follow.
Do it again. Say it again.
Do it again. Okay. I
want to follow this.
I'm trying. So think about, so you have the sun in the sky.
Yeah.
And it is shining down.
Yes.
It is shining, is illuminating everything. And it is a single point that is coming through. And when you're looking up, that point goes through and it enters the eye. So the eye is
like my eyeball? Like
your eyeball.
Okay.
So you are seeing it. So even though it's not like technically a direct beam like it is, that's how you are seeing the sun is lighting up everything around you. You were seeing it. It is entering your eye. And then if that was to be like a flip, so it comes through your eye of where it is entering is the same point of where it is like exiting. And so something on the other side would be like, it's like, think about the sun is where you are looking up into somebody's eye. Right? No? Okay. So like the sun that you're seeing is the light that is coming through and illuminating. And so the point of the sun coming through your eye is the point of light that is going through and illuminating the dark behind the eye. So it's just like this whole thing of the light is continuing to cycle through, coming from the sun into the eye. The eye turns into the point of the sun, the point of the light that goes through and cycles into the eye, which then develops into. So it's like when you look into a mirror.
I'm with you.
Are you? Because it's so hard. You weren't saying anything, and I keep trying to explain it. So again, who knows what people are going to think. You. And then,
so the idea is that that's an eye up there.
That's an eye. That's the light coming in from the experience. The light coming in and your experience. And then I would even go as like, and then when you're sleeping, is the moon, is the dark, is like you could even like continue it on.
So then what's the other side of the sun?
What is the other side of the sun?
Right. That would be somebody else's.
So yeah. So does it go linear? Is it stretched out where it's all these like going into the next? Or is it a loop? Like the magnetic energy field is it a loop? So it's just like one into the other and it just kind of spins.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one, babe.
Is it?
That's a good little paradox to think about. Right?
I tried drawing
oh,
it.
Oh God, do you have those?
I don't. I looked. I'm like, here. Oh, it's downstairs somewhere. We can't show, and you can't. But it was. I didn't want to forget it, so it was trying to just draw it in a way that I would know what I was looking at.
Yeah.
But I can see it. I can see it in color in my head, like I can see how that makes sense. I see the sun illuminating and lighting everything and the person like looking up at it. And as the light's coming in, it then goes whoosh and like floods behind. So it's the sun is the point of light that's going through the eyes and just this.
Yeah.
Like I can see it. I can see what the world looks like through that perspective. I draw it and I'm like, circle, arrows, lines quickly back and forth, see?
It's so amazing, isn't it?
When your brain starts to...
Just all of these random thoughts that we can creatively explore in the construct of our simulated minds and brains and who knows?
Who knows?
Are you okay not knowing?
Yes.
I don't know if I am.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sometimes I think about that. Like sometimes I can get really comfortable with never knowing.
Yeah.
And just being okay with that. But there's a part of me that is not comfortable there.
Yeah.
Like there's a part of me that's totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like totally comfortable with the fact that, in fact, is relative, right? Totally comfortable with the idea that we may never know.
Yeah.
I may never have an understanding of any and all of this, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be in this lifetime or the next, or who knows? But there's a part of me that's comfortable in that not knowing. And then there's another part of me that is like, the fuck I will. Like there's a part of me that will not die without that knowledge. Like I will continually strive for that knowledge to the point of like, that is, I don't know, maybe that's what keeps us alive and kicking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I want to know.
You want to know?
Yeah.
I think it's funny how we, so many times we feel the exact same thing just on opposite ends.
You and I?
Uh-huh. Like this is one of them. Like, I don't need to know. I don't need to know what it is. I don't need to know like where we came from. I don't need to know if this is a thing. Like that is so, not that the concept itself is unimportant, but to know the origination and what it actually is unimportant.
Okay.
But what I cannot like fathom is the thought of what if there's nothing to do with it? Like I need to know what to do with it. Where are we going? How am I like cultivating this? I don't need to know where it started. I don't need to know what is real. I just like, we're here to learn this. Like, what are we doing with it? So the action, I don't need to know like the past of it, but the action of it. And
tell me what to do with it.
And if it's like nothing, just sit in it. Oh, no, brain broke. I need the action. What are we doing with it?
Yeah.
So am I okay not knowing? Yes. Am I okay not doing anything with it? No. no.
That's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll try and be like, okay, but then I'm like, nope, this can't just be, nope. Like even I'm not even beginning to be okay with not the inaction of it.
I would almost argue that that's the same thing.
Like I said, like how funny that we feel the same thing,
Yeah.
but just on different ends.
Yeah. Cause I'm kind of really comfortable with like the inactivity part of it. Like if, like I can get to like I said, there's two parts of me, and that part of me that can accept the not knowing part is like, cool, let's just hang out. Like I don't need to do anything. I don't have to have a reason for any of it. I can just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I can just be present with it. I can just witness it and allow it and feel it and like seek pleasure in all things.
Yeah.
And have that be the purpose. Right? And what if it's
and that purpose is their action, and that at least is a purpose, is an action. So I'm like, I can wrap my head around that because there is purpose there. There is action.
So yeah, we are really coming from the same spot. We're afraid of the void.
Right. just
the void of nothingness.
Right. Oh. This circles back to the beginning when you're like, which movie? I had two movies in my head. The first one was The Never-Ending Story.
Yeah.
Like, how cool would that be to
go live in Fantasia?
For a little, yeah. Maybe we are.
Well, you heard it here.
Child!
Oh my goodness. Thank you for hanging in with us. If you managed to.
I think if they did, they're scratching their head right now. They're like, who's on first?
Exactly.
Where am I going?
We'd love to know your thoughts. If you have thoughts about this episode, please share it with us. Do that wherever you want. You can send us a message or email us or comment or whatever the case may be. But we would love to hear what you think and what you're simulating in your simulation. If you're listening to this, you created this simulation that you're like, you created
this.
Our voices in your ears right now. So we're telling you whatever you wanted to hear right now. You're welcome.